Move on to something quite specific. Tomorrow night, of course, is a bonfire night. Many people will have their bonfire parties at the weekends. We had a debate yesterday about whether there are too many fireworks. In fact, I think Diwali starts on the 20th of October. Many people will keep fireworks going on for weeks and months. There is a serious side to this. I wasn't being a killjoy yesterday. Animal welfare campaigners say that you know, the fireworks, the veracity of them and how many are now let off is a really dangerous situation for animals. We've had parents online going, I mean, I've got a young kid, so's Christian, and it's difficult when you've got these massive sort of fireworks going off left, right and centre. Dominic Dyer, as long as his name's not Danny, he's an animal welfare campaigner and environmentalist. We'll get on well. Dominic, good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. It's nice to join you, Jeremy.
And you, my friend. This is a horrible story. But one that we wanted to do, not to put the mockers on anything, but to almost sort of just point out that this is, it is real, isn't it? Much as fireworks are fun, there are real issues, aren't there?
There are. I think the first thing I should say here is there are real issues with ever leaving a baby in close proximity to a dog. You should never do that. We've had numerous incidents, Jeremy, over the years, and you're probably familiar with some of these from the media, where dogs, you know, have mauled or killed babies, even dogs that had no pattern of aggressive behaviour, even quite small dogs. It is dangerous. So the first thing you must always think about is you never leave a baby in close proximity to a dog. The other thing, of course, that could have triggered the dog here could have been the fireworks. The loud noises have an impact on animals. They make them nervous, they can make them aggressive. That could have triggered this dog, and that could have added to this terrible incident. There's no question.
So this is a really tragic story, peeps, of a 9-month-old baby boy attacked and killed by his family dogs after fireworks sent the dog into a panic. It happened on Sunday evening at a property in a quiet street in Monmouthshire, let's say that. Tragic, and it's such a... I completely understand why we're doing this story, because people will say, oh, you know, what about fireworks? No, we have to talk about animal welfare. We have to talk about safety as well. And there is an argument that many people would go for, which is that the sorts of displays that they have in... I mean, I'm going to one at the school on Friday, completely honest, at the kids' school. We're going on Friday evening. It's all done. You don't have to do it in your garden. And I wonder whether that is the answer, because there are more and more stories about animals being upset. And this is a tragic end, isn't it?
It is, and we could see more incidents like this. You know, I've been campaigning alongside many people for years for tighter regulation of fireworks. You're in and outside of Parliament, you're talking to MPs, you're talking to ministers. The previous government didn't do anything about it. This government aren't doing anything about it. And I can tell you, Jeremy, this is filling the mailbags of MPs. And it's not just about animals, it's about children with autism, it's about military veterans with post-traumatic stress.
Yeah.
You know, there is no control over these fireworks. I remember, you know, we're of a certain age. Remember when you would go to more organised displays where you might have some kids letting off a little banger in the street. These things are like military-grade mortars.
Did you see the footage yesterday of the video of the attacking a bus in Birmingham? Yes, did you see
I have
it?
shared that.
I mean, it's
absolutely shocking.
I mean, it looks like sort of what's going on, you know, in the war in Gaza. I mean, absolutely appalling. And somebody said to me yesterday, these are explosives. We're not being a killjoy when we say that they are explosives. And the more they've become attainable and the more advanced those have become, and I love the analogy you just made. We're talking about animals. We're talking about this tragic story of a baby. What about war veterans with PTSD who have been surrounded by those horrors for months and months and months? Answer me this. You said that you've campaigned. Why are politicians, why are their ears closed to this?
Well, you know, in the last 10 years, there have been 5 petition debates in Parliament, over 100,000 people signing those petitions. You know, that takes a lot of time. You have the debates. We had 5 debates. It's probably been debated more than many other issues that I can think of. There's another one at the moment, Red Wings Horse Sanctuary. I think there's over 50,000 have signed that because the horses are greatly traumatised. You know, the horses that they look after. Every time you speak to a politician, they come back and, oh, we understand, yes, but we think actually, you know, a voluntary code on how these products are sold and responsible guidance to people on how they should use them. We live in a world today, Jeremy, where you can get anything at the switch of a phone button. You can get, you know, fireworks in these pop-up shops left, right and centre. You can order them online, and they've got much more powerful. So even having a debate about trying to reduce the decibels of fireworks, trying to restrict when they can be sold has proved very difficult. There is pushback from the industry. There's no question about that. But I think there's a lack of courage from politicians to say this is actually becoming a significant problem, both for public safety and animal welfare. We also have a growing problem of young people just targeting animals for some sick, fun, and putting images on social media of using catapults, air guns, crossbows, and using fireworks. They're hurting cats, swans, deer, foxes, you name it. So this is a growing problem. And the big worry I have, and I chair a group that sort of brings a lot of animal welfare campaign organisations together to look at wildlife crime. And we work with the National Wildlife Crime Unit, who do amazing work on this in terms of the police. They've recently produced a report showing there is a very strong connection between organised criminal gang and violence and people that undertake attacks on animals. So all of this comes together. It should worry us as a society, and we should be acting on it.
Dominic, it's really good to have you on. I completely agree. I'm on the basis of that appalling story. Just to repeat, a 9-month-old baby boy attacked and killed by his family dog, who went into panic after fireworks were let off. This is in a quiet street in Monmouthshire. That's a tragedy. But Dominic making the argument that actually, they've sort of morphed into weapon-like features. So many of these fireworks. The impact of that is felt not just by animals and young kids. I mean, the veterans thing I didn't even think about, and I think that's absolutely right. It's certainly a debate we should have, and we really appreciate you being on the show, Dominic. Thank you very much indeed. Dominic Dyer, animal welfare campaigner and environmentalist, 25.